Hello, wonderful people. It's your girl, Krista Cake. I'm looking awfully tired today, and that's because I am. I stayed up way too late. Way too late. So, yeah, yesterday, another long freaking day, making phone calls over and over again, and not really getting anywhere with anyone. So, I don't know. I'm just pushing through, and towards the end of the day, I was working with a last minute customer, and it was actually like a good, like, legit customer, and hopefully we can make something happen with it. I really hope we can. But anyway, I had to stay over a little bit late, and my boss was talking to me a little bit, and I was like, hey, I'm just packing up my stuff, and he's like, well, it better not be all of it. And I don't know, it just kind of sparked a conversation, and I've brought up like the whole like concern about like what's been going on, a couple times, but I feel like I was like actually genuinely heard out last night. So I don't know, it gave me like a huge sense of relief, and I have a really good boss, and I'm just really thankful that he like heard me out, listened, and and also made me feel really good. He's like, no, I don't, he's like, I was like, sorry, let me rewind here, getting ahead of myself. Yeah, he's like, you better not be all your stuff, and I was like, no, I was like, if I were doing that, we would have a conversation about it first, and he's like, no, there better not be any conversation about that. And I don't know, it just made me feel like, I'm actually like kind of valued here. So I don't know, that's a huge relief. And I just mentioned, I don't know, I said I'm working my ass off, and making all these phone calls, and I said, it's just something has been weird. I said, I think there's something wrong with the lead rotation. And he's like, well, I'm pretty on that stuff. He's like, I look into that pretty often. He's like, I haven't noticed anything weird. He's like, if you see something weird, let me know. He's like, but I do keep an eye on that. And I was like, I don't know. I was just like, it's just something just seems off. I was like, I haven't hit my stride this year. And yeah, I don't know. Essentially, he said that he would keep an eye on it. So I don't know if anything will come of it, and I don't even know if there is anything actually like going on. It just feels strange, and I know that usually like my intuition is pretty on point, but I've been wrong a million times, so I don't know. But it's nice to be heard. It made me feel like really good, like I don't know. So yeah, I went home. I was in pretty good spirits for the first time all week, basically. And I don't know, we had a really fun night. Like, we had an awesome night. Like, it was just full of laughing and talking. And Mo was making some dinner, which I decided to not eat. I wasn't hungry, really. And I felt bad because he did make a really beautiful meal. I'm going to eat it today. But yeah, when he was in the middle of like trying to like melt some butter, and he got the heat way too hot and like forgot about it for a second, and next thing I know, our house was like full of freaking smoke, so full of smoke, and the alarm starts going off, and we're like opening up the windows and getting fans out, and I'm like, oh my god. And these are like hardwired alarms, so I don't know if like the leasing place like gets an alert, or I don't know how exactly it all works, but I was like, if we can't get this thing to shut off, we have to try to contact them and get somebody over here to do it. And it's loud and it's annoying. You've heard it before, I'm sure. But I don't know, it was a little chaotic there for a second. But yeah, we just had a really nice night, and I needed it. I really needed a night to just like not be so stressed out and not be so worried about everything, and like, feel a little bit like myself again. So yeah, that's a win. And it's Friday today, so yay, we've got the weekend coming up. Nothing terribly crazy planned for this weekend. Mo's got a haircut tomorrow, and I was thinking about maybe making our way to Battle Creek, maybe picking up a couple groceries for my grandparents, check on the crabs. I am in a spot now with that crab tank where I'm like, I know that there was 3 hermit crabs. I've only seen 1 come up from the sand, and it's been like 5 months, and I know that they can stay down a moat for a while, but I'm in a spot where I'm like, I just need to get that tank cleaned out and move stuff. So like, I know it sounds kind of crappy and rude and maybe mean and all that stuff, and I don't mean to be, but I'm like, I can't just keep leaving that tank over there and like relying on my grandma to check on them, and me having to pop in, which I would pop into my grandparents' house anyways, but like having to worry about them. And I was like, I need to have something taken off my plate here of things to worry about. So I'm thinking about maybe just, emptying it out anyway, and at least taking the 1 crab that I know is alive and getting it moved over to the house. So that's going to be a big task. It's a long process. I have to buy more sand. I have to buy more coco coir. It's going to be a huge pain, but it's something I really want to get done. And I don't even know, that's the thing with the crabs, is like, I don't even know if the other 2 are even alive. it's so hard, especially when they bury themselves, like, because they could potentially still be molting, even though this is like a longer end of molting, because they've been down for a while. And yeah, I don't know if they're actually alive or not, and you can't really tell if they're alive until they decide to show up, and then you run the risk of, you know, if you dig them up, you could kill them anyway. So I'm kind of torn with the whole thing, and you know, I love them. I think they're really cool, really, really cool pets, but I really got to do something, you know? So, I don't know. But I love you guys. Thanks for listening to me rambling and ranting and all that other stuff I have a tendency to do, trailing on, word vomiting, all that. Like, share, and subscribe if you're into that kind of thing, alright? Please subscribe, guys. I see there are thousands and thousands of people who watch my videos, and thank you so much for doing that. But I would love a sub. Thank you so much for all the support. You guys are wonderful. And we'll talk again real soon, KK. Bye.